Innovators. My name is Tosin Arawajolu, and I am the Sergeant at Arms for Voice of Innovators. I welcome you, and especially because we have a very special meeting today with our keynote speaker, and we just heard her a few seconds ago. So welcome. I would ask that while you're not speaking, if you could please put your microphone off. However, if you could put your video on, that would be great. And with that, I will turn the meeting over to our president, Toastmaster Rashid Maymoon. Over to you.
Thank you, our Sergeant at Arms. For a moment, I thought you forgot my name, but no worries. I call meeting number 213 to order. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to meeting 213 for Voice of Innovators Toastmasters Club. Let me start by welcoming all of you to our wonderful meeting. And let me ask our wonderful guests to please introduce themselves, starting from our keynote speaker, Dr. Isha.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be invited to join you today. I'm Dr. Isha Al Khalifa. I worked for over 20 years at the University of Bahrain. And I rose up the ranks gradually until I got to become advisor to the president. And I was responsible for the technology and the major technology, including the e-learning services. And later on, I retired and started my own company. My passion with AI has been ever since I got my master's in the year 1990. So maybe I've lived with AI more than everybody I know. So I've watched it grow, and it'll be a pleasure to talk to you today about what I think or see where I see AI going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Isha, for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to hearing from you because I also want to learn more about artificial intelligence. Next, we have our wonderful general evaluator, Toastmaster Deepa.
A very good evening to everyone. And especially today, I'm very interested in the meeting, mainly because of our speaker, Ma'am Isha. It's like me and anything to do with the tech world are like worlds apart. I am what you consider totally ignorant as far as it comes. So I literally feel redundant when I consider myself, so I'm really looking forward to, and I hope I get a little bit of knowledge, and I will feel myself a lot more well-versed with the AI field after today. I'm really looking forward to it. And as a Toastmaster, it's been a wonderful world after joining Toastmasters. So it's a privilege today being here today among innovators. Thank you. Looking forward.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa, for that wonderful introduction. And I think we have another guest, Zishan Ali. Would you like to introduce yourself, please? You can unmute. Zishan? I think we have a, okay, Toastmaster Zishan, I think, or Mr. Zishan is a little bit shy, that's okay. Let's move on to our next item on the agenda, which is coincidentally is to adopt the agenda. So members, the agenda was circulated. Our VP Education, is there any changes to the agenda?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Rashid, President of this Voice of Innovators. And we have changes in G, General Evaluator. Before, as per agenda, is a Toastmaster Farida. she sent apologies. So instead of Farida, our Toastmaster Deepa will be the general evaluator today. Over to you, President.
Okay, so I have shared the agenda in the chat. It was Master Tosin, you were asking for it. So in that case, somebody to propose to adopt the agenda, or is there any objection? Yeah, we need to propose because there is a change.
I am Toastmaster Mariam Naimi. I am adopting the agenda.
You propose to adopt the agenda, you mean, right?
I propose to adopt the agenda.
Wonderful, Maria. Don't worry, our parliamentary procedure. I will correct you always. Somebody to second it.
I second the motion to adopt the agenda.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tosin. So we have proposal, so let's adopt the agenda. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our next item, which I think Toastmaster Raja forgot. This is a presidential speech. The president have to give a speech to motivate and encourage members. So when I heard about the theme of today, artificial intelligence, the first thing came to in my mind was Terminator. To be honest, the robots are going to take over the world. See, I grew up with watching that kind of movies. Actually, Arnold Schwarzenegger and sci-fi movies where the robots are going to take over the world and the human beings are going to be second-class citizens and stuff. But when it comes to real life, I think when it comes to technology or when it comes to anything that is new in life, we have this fear of unknown, fear of something that we don't really know how to categorize it. Sometimes it doesn't go to our brains. How is this possible? If we see the application of artificial intelligence, it is in every sector of life being implemented in finance, national security, healthcare, and many more. Now, I will not talk about artificial intelligence in the future because we have a wonderful keynote speaker who is an expert on it. But for me, I would tell you that don't be quick, to judge new things just because you don't understand it. Give it time and just think about things like, there's nothing that is always bad or always good. If we kind of misuse or use it something too much, it might become harmful for you. But for example, I give this example always. Pizza is delicious, whatever type you like, even the pineapple one. But if you eat it every day, it's not going to be useful, is it? I know I'm comparing artificial intelligence to pizza, but bear with me. There is a resemblance. If you use, for me, or rely on something too much, it might become harmful. But everything, even social media, was created for your benefit, to bring people closer. Now remember, we have so many social media applications, and the thing that we do the most is ignore the messages the most. So ladies and gentlemen, it's not the technology that is the bad thing. It is maybe how we apply or how we use it that might need refining. Let's think about that, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Now, wonderful guest, I think we have also one more guest joining us, Toastmaster Ruzvi Bashir. Would you like to introduce yourself? Yes, Toastmaster Ruzvi. No, so Toastmaster Thomas, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, good evening, all Toastmasters, guests. So glad to be here with the Voice of Islam Toastmasters. I am K.M. Thomas, member of Berlin HR Professional Toastmasters and the Vision Advanced Toastmasters. I'm glad to be with you all to listen to the keynote speak. Back to President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thomas, our laughter guru. Toastmaster Rizvi, you can open your mic or not still.
Hi, I'm Rizbe, and I'm excited to listen to the keynote speaker today.
Thank you, Toastmaster. You can listen and you can watch as well. So welcome to our meeting. I muted myself by mistake. Okay, let's move on to the next item in the agenda. And we have Toastmaster Raja. The new member has not arrived, is it?
No, not yet arrived.
Okay.
I will let you know.
So do you want us to move on to the next item on the agenda?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we will have the induction maybe later on or maybe the next meeting, since incoming Toastmaster Jafar is not being able to make it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful lady who's going to be taking us for a ride this evening. She's going to be our master of ceremonies. She is head of marketing group in Bahrain Training Institute. She is a Toastmaster since 2013, taking different leadership roles at club level and district. She was the Area 5 director. She was a past Division I director, and she is currently member of the PQD Awards team. And she is also our VP membership and the Master of Ceremonies for today. Please put your hands to welcome Toastmaster Mariam An-Noaimi.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Welcome to all. It's my pleasure to welcome you with a new things in Voice of Benita. Get ready and enjoy our meeting of today. It's my pleasure to welcome you. Let me begin by giving you a warm welcome to Toastmaster Rashid Maymoon as being as a timer.
Do you want me to introduce the timing criteria?
Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, since we have a keynote speaker, the time allotted is 20 minutes, and then there is question and answer for 10 minutes allotted. So, at 15 minutes, our speaker will be seeing the. Let me just open it. So, yeah, it will be easy. You'll see the green signal background behind me, and it's 17 and a half. You'll see the yellow, and at 20 you'll see the red. Then you have 30 seconds or say 1 minute to wrap up the keynote speech. Then we can have 10 minutes of question and answer session. For table topics, we have 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute you will see the green background, 1.5 minutes you will see the yellow, and at 2 minutes you will see the red, and you have 30 seconds to wrap up your table topics. I will present my report at the end of the meeting to the general evaluator. All the best to everyone, and just remember, when you're speaking, don't forget to pin the timer. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much for explaining the rules. Let's move to second rules for today. She's a dreamer and a believer. She believes that there is a good in everyone. We just need to look for it. A microbiology professor by profession. Give it up and become a homemaker by choice. Passion about traveling, painting and writing, a natural love and galaxy reader. I believe that nature has 3 modes: healing power. Please welcome our general evaluator of today, Toastmaster Divya Parathiban.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, for a lovely introduction. Today, I will be evaluating, or rather, I will be taking note of the way the meeting goes from the start till the end. And at the end of the meeting, I will be giving my own evaluation. I know every club has its own way of conducting things. So taking that into consideration, I'll just be telling what are my feelings, my opinions as of today's meeting. Please go ahead. I'll be watching this. Thank you.
Thank you so much for explaining your role wonderfully. And let's move to our second rules for today. Arkantar and grammarian for today. BTM Raja Manikam.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Today, generally Toastmaster having many hats. So today I am wearing two hats, that is Arcounter and Grammarian. For the guest, I would like to describe my role. The purpose of Arcounter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. And I will also listen for filler words, including and er. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I, or this means, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used the expression. And back to you, grammarian. Another role today, as a grammarian, it's my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully of the language used. I will take note of any improper language as well as outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is peopleware, noun, which means the role that human plays in technology, specifically in terms of computers. For example, the technology of the app is great, but it does not take peopleware into account, so it's less user-friendly. The company uses a lot of high-end technology, but values peopleware the most. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. Somewhere I am in my background of the image. I will give the grammarian report when called upon during the meeting and also report the usage of the word of the day. And thank you. Back to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you so much, BTM Raja, for a wonderful explanation for your role. She's a professional civil engineering who moved from United States to Bahrain in 2019. She's certified a leadership coach, speaker, and trainer with a John Maxwell Group. She joined Toastmaster in 2014 and has held several positions and received awards. She's currently our Area 35 Director. Her passion is a wonderful passion. Empower a professional to live a life of signature and to be agent to change. That we'd like to see in the world. She's married to Andrew and they have 2 sons. And in her spare time, she enjoys photography, swimming, and dancing. Please welcome our area director, Toastmaster Tosin Erwelgen, to have her speech.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome, Toastmaster Mariam. So I'm going to put my second hat on because, as you know, I'm wearing 2 different hats. First, I'm Sergeant at Arms, and right now as Area Director. I'm very excited to be here as the Area Director, especially because this is my home club. And the club has been around since 2009, which happens to be the same year that I moved to Bahrain. And so I want to commend you for being around for this long. I know that we've had some challenges, especially with COVID, we've lost some members, but I can see that you're keeping going. we're not giving up. And we're especially excited that we've had the opportunity to have a keynote speaker to join us today. Now, with a different kind of vision that we have, where we'll be looking more into innovation, I'm hoping that we'll have even more keynote speakers speaking on different technologies topics in the future. So I want to encourage all the members and of course our guests who are here, that no matter what challenges we face, we shouldn't get discouraged. Life is a journey, it's not a sprint, and we just have to keep going. So, Voice of Innovators, I encourage you to keep on. And as our motto is, we have the mission to provide an environment where people can learn to be leaders and to be communicators. So as long as we keep that as our forefront and as our goal, we'll continue to keep the goals that we are setting for ourselves and to attract the right fit members who will join us for a longevity for our club. So wish you all the best, and I look forward to visiting again very soon. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tosin, for your wonderful motivate us. It's not every day that will be happen. You have properly noticed that things about change. Believe or not, it's never too late. But first of all, our keynote speaker for today obtained a Master in Artificial Intelligence from University of George Washington, and her PhD also in Artificial Intelligence from the University of Edinburgh, Scotland. She spent over 16 years doing research in the field of cognitive science and published in a large number of papers and attend conferences in all continents of the world. She's a researcher in innovation of the field. The innovation required 2 years to turn in the registration patent obtained from the Patent Office in the United States of America. Please welcome Dr. Sheikha Aisha bint Mohammed Al Khalifa, the future of artificial intelligence. The future of artificial intelligence, Dr. Sheikha Aisha Mohammed Al Khalifa. Please welcome her.
Thank you very much. May I start with one thing? My name is Isha. I know it's a little bit different from the norm, but it's the name of the wife of Prophet Zakaria and the mother of Prophet Yahya.
I apologize.
No, it's okay, no problem. Can I share my screen? I have a few slides prepared.
I've made you co-host, you can share.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so today, basically, I'm going to be speaking about the future of AI. Of course, no person knows the future. So we use whatever information we have now in order to try and think what's going to happen in the future. We can start by reviewing AI adoption. AI current adoption. Of course, I'm sure everyone knows about technology and how computers and technology change the world that we live in. When technology started, things started to advance very rapidly. Ever since the first computer, the speed of the processing kept on increasing more and more and more exponentially. AI adoption started a long time ago, and it started a few years. I studied it in the year 89, 90. It was all the rage for a while. And then after that, it went down again, and it started to disappear, and people started saying that AI will disappear. Then all of a sudden it reappeared out of the blue. If we look at AI adoption at the moment, I tried to outline the main points or the main areas that people are focused on, especially in this region, but even internationally. One of the areas that AI is used extensively in, where you can see the AI, is chatbots, translation, machine translation, verbal translation. Even in Arabic, it's being implemented in AI. Decision support helps in regarding information, analysis of information trends, and getting deductions from that. Repetitive skills like driving, operating machinery, there is a different kind of AI that's being used with that. Many other implementations will emerge through time as time continues, because people continue to think about how to implement and what to do with the new tools that they have. It is expected that 320 billion will go into AI by the year 2030. So the potential of AI and the potential impact of AI is extremely significant. We cannot ignore it. The data that I obtained is from PwC. Adoption trends. If we look at adoption trends at the moment, we start with language generation, and this was developed, it had a major leap around the millennia. They innovated a way of studying the intonations of voice, and they discovered that it reflects along certain angles to appear like it is a natural person talking. So they implemented it to machines, and ever since the start of the millennia till now, machines talking is getting more and more human-like. Smart devices is a description of types of devices that can react to human interaction. And I'm not talking about a device like a light that will go on when someone comes close. I'm talking about something that will recognize a human face and open a door. Smarter reports. Humans cannot spend so much time to read every single written document about a certain topic anymore, because we are flooded with data because of the internet. Everybody is putting all the documents with a lot of data on the internet, and there are not enough humans to read all that data and to understand and get the information out of that data. Security detection of anomalies is more mathematical in nature. It studies behavior and studies when the behavior is not normal, like someone is trying to hack into a network. AI robots, we look at the robots that walk and move, but we do not consider the robots that are working inside factories, that are just like a robotic arm, not a whole robot that is assembling cars or fixing some devices. I need you to give me feedback at the end of this talk if I missed anything, because I'm sure you're thinking of a lot of things. Now to talk about the future. Vinton Cerf is one of the people that founded the internet. He was one of two who sent the first email that was ever sent across the internet. And when he was asked about the future of AI, he said that he is waiting for a weight scale that will talk to the fridge and will tell the fridge, do not open your door today because our patron gained weight. Poor human. Another possible future, AI art. Christie's New York sold an AI art piece for $432,000. This is a photo of the art piece. It is not even clear or precise, but for some reason, people felt that it deserved this amount. Another thing about the future of AI, we already have some part of it, but it has not been fully implemented yet. It's called Edge AI. This is when an AI program is run on the car where the actual learning is happening in a central database that it communicates with via the internet. These cars already exist and they are already running in some of the roads in some of the countries of the world. AI assisted driving is already on the streets, especially for people that are going on highways or traveling for long hours. It helps a little bit in safety issues. Considering the future as well, I expect, and I think that a lot of people also are waiting for a big revolution in something called tiny machine learning. Small machine learning programs to be placed on small devices. Things like finger recognition, face recognition, things like that. You put the small program that learns about the person that is coming in every day, for example, someone going to work, and recognizes their face. So instead of going to work and signing, or going to work and putting a card or putting a fingerprint, it will automatically recognize the person going into the office and leaving the office, and that will be registered. This is just one implementation. TinyML has a new language that was developed by Google called TensorFlow Lite. And the idea is to make it easy to write these programs that will do this little learning, limited learning. The clearest examples of TinyML that we see are Siri, OK Google, and Alexa as well. Now we can talk a little bit more about the future, a little bit scary future. Xenobots. Xenobots are biocells where the behavior can be controlled. They are cells, and the scientists claim that because they are tiny cells, they do not interact, they do not feel, they do not have an existence. They're just cells. They can heal themselves and they can rebuild, and they can be influenced to react a certain way. And this is roughly what they look at. The reason they are looking at these different ways of saving information is that these cells heal themselves. So it'll be like a computer that can fix itself. I think one of the Terminator movies had a robot that can fix itself. So this is similar to that. Another thing about the future that is more hands-on, more likely to come, because they are already building computers in it and it's advancing very fast, are quantum computers. Quantum computers are a bit different because within every qubit, it can have more than one states at the same time. This is roughly what it looks like. There are many of them, and they go into a huge computer, but if we remember our current computers, they started huge and then they shrank with time. What IBM did was it connected random qubits to their cloud service, and they basically invited everyone to come and develop and register with IBM and develop using the quantum computers. The quantum computers have a good side and a dangerous side. The good side is that they can calculate very fast. The relatively medium side maybe that we can look at is that they will require people to learn a whole new way of programming. We know that with the classical technology, programming is using instructions. With AI, programming requires using neural nets and thinking of how the data gets sorted or how it gets classified and so on. And with quantum computing, it will require a newly invented way of programming. And that kind will also affect the speed of calculation, because it will influence things that are assuming that they require a lot of calculation to be opened, like encryption. And encryption exists in a lot of things like bank accounts, sending information to withdraw money, send money, and so on. And that under that comes crypto. So crypto uses heavy encryption, and quantum computers are extremely fast in analyzing that sort of thing. So I wasn't aware of the way that this is organized exactly, so I did not prepare for 20 minutes exactly. My way usually is to make it more interactive, and I try to listen to people, and basically I'm open to whatever question you have, and I hope that I'll be able to answer it. Okay.
I think Master of Ceremonies to see if there's questions, so we can ask speakers. If there is,
Sure. Is there on the chat? There are no questions, but if anyone
Yes.
interested.
Yeah, Madam Isha, can I just ask, like, I mean, when you're talking about smart devices which can recognize face, does that include the face recognition that mobiles have, or is it a higher level of recognition which you're talking about? Does it come under the same category? Like nowadays, the mobiles have the facial recognition, right? Come under the smart devices category that you were talking about?
Hello, yes. They are using it already in a lot of things. I think they do use some types in the smart devices, and it's evolving continuously. The way AI is evolving is not a straight line. This is why people are so afraid of where it might go. A lot of people worked in AI, and a lot of people published, including myself. Sometimes, every once in a while, someone in one field or one implementation manages to discover something or a way that something happens. When that happens, a lot of research goes into it and a lot of people start to implement that way. An example of this is what happened with images. When I was in University of Edinburgh, 99, 2000, two things were discovered. One is the voice generation that I was talking about. They discovered how voice intonations get reflected by a human speaker because we don't speak in monotone. We have to raise our voices and lower them depending on the words and the expression that we're doing. The second innovation that was discovered was images. They identified that human cognition identifies basic lines or separations within an image, and then we focus on each separately. We do not analyze the whole image as a grid. We don't remember a whole image as a grid. So they implemented that by breaking the levels or layers of the neural net into different layers. And what happened was that the accuracy of image recognition went through the roof, basically. And this is what they are calling the deep neural nets that everybody's using. Google is using, and Facebook is using, Meta, and the other companies. No one knows when someone will discover one of the features. And this is why I went into cognitive science, because that is where the scientists research and try to find these little gems of information. Do I think that AI will ever be smarter than humans? No, because AI is not even intelligent. AI is a system of self-modification. And it is as strong as what we put into it. So if we put certain information, it can modify its numbers, it can modify its terms, but it's limited. It's not us.
Beautiful. I mean, lovely answer and a lovely perspective. Yes, it is not us, and that, I guess, says it all. That's beautiful. Just that I wonder at times, because we humans, the capacity is tremendous, but I believe we do not use even 0.some% of the capacity we have. And therein comes our disadvantage, where the AI, no matter what you put in, it's 100%, because it's a machine end of the day. It does not take into account the circumstantial influences, the emotions, or other things which hinder our thinking and our capabilities at times. I think that's to some extent a downfall and sometimes a strength too, as humans come, I guess. Yes, end of the day, they are not us, and I guess we need to remember that. Thank you for a beautiful answer, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? I think there's a question.
Toastmaster Rinosh is, you can unmute yourself, Toastmaster Rinosh.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Risha, for sharing your insights and telling us the future of AI. I have two questions. My first question is, where do you see, or how do you see the extent of AI in mission critical or business critical industries or verticals like the healthcare, the defense, as well as, of course, you mentioned about the banking sector, but do you see, or how do you see the extent of AI coming into these three sectors? That is my first question. The second question is, do you see collaboration of government bodies or authorities along with the private sector to regulate or come up with regulations for AI in Bahrain or in the region? And if you could share some insights on that as well.
Thank you very much for your question. Your first part of the question is whether AI is going to influence mission critical operations. I think yes, because AI is a tool similar to the machines that humans developed. AI is a regular tool that can learn how to deal with differences. It can change, modify, solve issues depending on what it has seen before and generalizing. If we're talking about a machine, usually the operation of machines is limited to a certain set of possibilities. The issues that arrive at that machine also always lives within a certain set of possibilities. So AI can fit in there perfectly. In fact, AI is being used in healthcare detection of illnesses by recognizing X-rays. So machines are much easier. Business critical, it is already being heavily used for business critical operations as an advisor by analyzing information, analyzing reports, studying markets, studying trends, analyzing them, doing mathematical analysis, getting summary reports. With AI, the data does not have to be complete. It can be sparse, it can be distributed. It will do that job of reading everything, summarizing it for you more or less, and getting out some trends, but it cannot think like a human. You have to show it what to do, train it on how to get information, and then it will give you according to what it was trained to do. Banking, yes, it can work in banking, but it depends on the application. If you want to do things like transfers and so on, you will use regular technology because that is precise, that's specific, and it will tell you if the transaction succeeded or not. What AI will do is identify if there are anomalies in the access, identify if there are anomalies in, for example, the credit card use. A person is withdrawing money continuously from different shops in one country. All of a sudden, there is a withdrawal from a different country. AI will flag that automatically as an anomaly, and you will know that maybe the credit card has been stolen. So it can detect anomalies, differences in standard behavior. That's the first thing. With respect to regulation and government bodies, with the internet, we're only seeing regulation these past few years. The internet started. When the internet started, they had different services like search services and so on. Google, as an example, it started by offering services, search and advertisement and so on. People made advertisements on Google. They paid Google directly because the amounts they were charging were so low. They went under the radar for most countries. Google became a $1 trillion company. Now countries of the world have woken up and they are telling Google, how did this happen? And they are putting regulation for taxes. Regulation for AI, it's not being used that much. So there is no regulation at the moment. It's not even risky at the moment because nobody has developed that thing that will make it really do something risky. I can give you an example of Google bought a company and I forgot, it's Boston Dynamics or something like that. They have robots, and they were trying to sell them to the US Defense as smart robots, and they taught them how to maneuver, how to run, and they made them in the form of dogs and humans and so on, and they failed, and they sold the company to a Japanese company that has a totally different use for them. So they failed in that. So I don't see any heading for regulation, heavy regulation at the moment. There is some regulation regarding to not fooling people, not being used to harm people, things like that. But not strict regulation like we're seeing on the internet now. It's getting tougher on the internet.
Thank you, Dr. Isha.
Thank you so much. Anyone have other question for the keynote speaker?
Yes. I just
Yeah,
want to
sure.
say thank you so much, Dr. Isha. Incidentally, today is the birthday of email. I don't know if you knew that, but today is the
No,
day-
actually, I used to know that, but I forgot. Because the internet started with email, there was a research paper that was written in the UK about packet transmission. LANs did not exist. At the same time, there was a second paper, one in the US, one in the UK. And the people in the US got funding from the defense to build a system. And they built a line and it didn't work. They tried to send the packet and it didn't work. Then they thought about partitioning the packet, cutting it into parts and sending it by part. And that is when they did the TCP/IP protocol. If a part doesn't arrive, they resend it, and then the receiver puts the pieces together again. So the first email was sent in California. Both stations were in California. And after that, they had the line operational from Washington, D.C. to California. When I was in Washington, D.C., one of my homeworks was to use that line to communicate with a library in California. And I was thinking, what on earth are they doing? We have to call a phone number and send a message. And after a certain number of seconds, we send another message. And I didn't know how to do it. So they gave us a number as a help. And I called that person. And I basically gave him a huge headache because I wouldn't stop until I sent it. A few years later, I discovered that I'm one of the first people that use the internet.
Wow, that's amazing. One thing I wanted to ask is, should we be concerned that some of our jobs may be taken over by AI? For instance, I'm in the US now. Instead of going through a checker, a human checker, you can go to a scan and scan your items yourself. So in a way, some of the jobs are being replaced slowly by machines in a way. So what do you think? Is that something we should watch out for? Are some of our jobs going to disappear with the advent of AI?
Jobs have never been in the history of humankind always stationary. As humans evolve, as we change, the things we do, the things we need change with us. Are jobs gonna disappear? Yes, probably. There will be a number of jobs that will disappear, but other jobs will be born. Things that will require humans are things that will require art, recognition of unique things that require the human touch, as well as innovation. a lot of innovation. But I think that just like our children now cannot live without a smartphone, everybody's gonna know about AI. And not everybody will need to learn how to program it, because regular coding has changed over the generations. I mean, throughout the past 20 years, ever since I started till now, languages have been born continuously. And most of them, they hold the 3 principles of all languages in the world, 4th generation languages. However, they have libraries. So what happens is that it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier and easier to use these things. We will have them as tools. Some jobs will disappear. Other jobs will be invented purely by the new field. This is my opinion. Perhaps one of the biggest examples, influencers. If we didn't have social media, we wouldn't have influencers.
Any other question? Any other question?
Yeah, yes, madam.
Yeah, that's Mr. Aditya Raja.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Isha. Wonderful insights. In terms of hardware, have you used that quantum computers in anywhere? So looks like vacuum tubes and all. I would love to see that quantum computers hardwares.
I haven't seen them anywhere. I know they exist. I know they're being used. I know they're on the IBM cloud. They have the ability of having 0 and 1 values at the same time. That means that they are exponentially faster than any existing computer. Once they are out, IBM is working on them, MIT is working on them, Google is working on them. The real race at the moment is between MIT and IBM. They are producing the fastest. And I think that once they're out, these computers will go. I don't know how many of the people here have seen the old TVs, the big bulky ones, and what happened when the screen became flat. Quantum computers are going to do that to these devices.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? For our keynote speaker? I think there are no questions. Thank you so much, our keynote speaker, Dr. I hope I pronounce your name better this time. Isha.
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 Okay.
Isha. Okay.
The last letter is difficult.
Okay. And double A. That's why. Okay, Isha. Thank you for your wonderful workshop. I'm really happy, and I hope we got more of this type of workshop, because nowadays we are moving to the intelligence, and we are all in the same field, and we are happy to listen from a doctor like you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. I can't wait to see the grading now.
And now is Tosma Aditya Mona here?
Toastmaster Mariam, DTM Mona is not there, so we can go ahead for induction. possible?
Sure. Sure.
Yes.
Let's see. And now we move to our induction of today for our new members. Please welcome Toastmaster Jafar is here. Toastmaster Jafar, can you open your camera?
Toastmaster Mariam, you're here? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm here. It's Toastmaster Jafar.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
you can. Hello. Yeah, hi, Toastmaster Jafar. Welcome to our team in Toastmaster. I'll be doing for you an induction as a membership, not as a master of ceremony. Being a Toastmaster means more than simply making a communication to self-development for everyone who join a Toastmaster club and making a communication to the club, to the member and the organizer whole. Please index the communicate by I do to each point to the Toastmaster promise. So Toastmaster Jafar, on every prospect I will say for you, please say I. It's okay? I'm hearable, Toastmaster Jafar, for you.
Toastmaster Jafar? Yeah.
I will say a prospector.
Hello. I cannot hear you actually, ma'am.
Toastmaster Mariam, I suggest we.
I'm not able to hear.
Toastmaster Mariam, I suggest that we postpone the induction ceremony to our next meeting. I think we will need to sit with Toastmaster Jafar and configure it then we can do the induction. Let's
Okay.
move on to our next session. Although, okay. This Toastmaster Mariam, did DTM Muna messaged you or not?
No.
Okay, so I will take over from her in case she's not there.
Okay. Thank you so much. And let's move to our second today topic is table topic. As an agenda, DTM Muna Al-Uqab, but because she had some commitment, we'll be moving forward to Toastmaster Rashid Mayoun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mariam. Always your introduction is brief and to the point. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the table topics session. I'm going to be the table topics master and the timer. So, you know, double the threat. So table topics is a topic is given to you, not a question. A topic is given to you and you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk on that topic, whether you agree, disagree, or whatever comes to your mind. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we practice our impromptu speaking skills. So be ready. You never know, you might be next. So we have 1 to 2 minutes. And from our list of people available here, I see Toastmaster Rinosh just opens his camera and he's ready to answer the table topics. So Toastmaster Rinosh, the first topic goes to you. Now, in your opinion, do you think robots will take over the world one day? In your opinion, do you think the robots will take over the world one day?
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests present here in the meeting. Whenever I look at this movie, Terminator, it always reminds me of what could happen in future, and I always pray it should not. It sometimes baffles me to see how they change figures, especially the one I think in Terminator 3 or 2, where they change and take forms. It really scares me if someone comes suddenly in front of me as a person whom I'm not expecting. And time to time changes the voice over the phone, never know. So sometimes it's quite scary, but having said that, I do not see a world dominated by robots. End of the day, all these machines are part of a creation and creation by human beings. End of the day, they can get as smart as possible based on what they've been programmed for. And I'm sure there's always a reset button somewhere. Someone smart person has that control with him or her that can change. So I look upon a world where it works together, gels together. Of course, in terms of making life much more easier, rather than getting your mixer out there, making the juice. Probably if you just say a click of a snap or something that they understand that you need your toast ready for the day or the juice to be placed on a table with a wink of an eye, or maybe your thought just translates to some binary codes of zeros and ones. But I believe that there is an era where it could help simplify life, keeping the mind that we are also exhausted in terms of our daily routines, making us more productive, but not on a robotic world. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rinosh, for that answer, for that amazing comment. I don't know what will be more scarier, that the robots take over the world or a film starting Arnold Schwarzenegger predicting the future and it comes true. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our next speaker. I see our area director, Toastmaster Tosin, really gear up. You're not going to compete in table topics, Toastmaster Tosin, this year, but nevertheless, you can always compete in the table topics of our club. So your question is, if you can invent a technology to change the world, what will it be? If you can invent a technology to change the world, what would it be? Toastmaster Tosin.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. We're living in a world that is changing a lot. I think we learned today from what our speaker said, that the first email was sent many, many years ago, and the way that technology has evolved is going to keep evolving. However, there's still some things that happen that makes me wonder, is this world really, what's going on with the world? There's still a lot of hatred, there's still a lot of poverty, there's still a lot of sadness, mental illness is on the rise. And if I was to invent some kind of technology, it would be to eradicate some of these social issues that we face, such as discrimination, poverty, lack, I don't know how it will be made, but definitely, if we could make a world a better place to live, it will certainly make our lives easier. We will live longer, we will have less stress, everybody will have enough food to eat, nobody will go hungry, we'll be healthy and well. So yeah, if I could invent something, I would like to see a technology that would eradicate the ills of the world so that we can have a place, a world that is full of love, that is full of peace, that is full of joy. I hope that maybe in the future, this technology will come to play. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tosin, for that noble thoughts. And I think someday we might reach there, inshallah, hopefully. Now let's ask our new member, Toastmaster Jafar. Toastmaster Jafar, you're here?
Hi,
Yes. So
Jafar here. Yes.
yes, Toastmaster Jafar. So the topic for the topic for you is, in your opinion, in the last decade or since the turn of the new century, what has been the most important technological discovery that has changed or shaped the human life in the last or the new century? What is the technology that has shaped or formed the human life?
Okay. Thank you thank you everyone. I'm a new member actually. It was in my induction today. I couldn't come in online properly. The video was missing. For this question, in my opinion, the last century has given the first I'm not talking about artificial intelligence and all. It is about electricity. The invention of electricity was the first, this was the that can be the first innovation that has been made up our life easier. The second would be automotive, moving technology. That can say cars, ships, or aeroplanes, whatever it is. So these two invention will be the life-changing innovations that we could see last century. Basically, I hope. Hello.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Jafar. Thank you so much for your answer and first time attempting table topics and done such wonderfully and such an amazing answer. Electricity, of course. So that's a wonderful answer. Now, let me ask some of our guests who might be willing to participate in the table topics. Any volunteers from the guest? Yeah. Zishan, we have not heard from you. You're going to be silent throughout the meeting. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Yes, Toastmaster Mariam, I think we can ask our Master of Ceremonies a question and embarrass us. No, sorry. I mean, challenge her. Challenge her. So, Toastmaster Mariam, what technology do you think has been harmful for the humankind and should have not been invented? What technology that you think was harmful for the human beings and should have not been invented? Toastmaster Mariam.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rashid Raymun, for your question. What is the technology that will be harmful for the people? If you ask me, I believe in each technology, you will be find the positive and negative things for the people. For example, if we will go to the social media is a good technology and part of marketing and part of communicating. Sometimes, especially when the corona, we have a lot of things we cannot speak with the people or go on it. So when you use the technology, it will be reduce that when we are sitting in the home. But on other side, that we see that this type of technology, it's affect the times and time wasting. Other technology that we can see like the computer. If you use it well, you will be having a good life. If you will not use it on hard things, it will be harm the people. I believe in each technology in the life, it's like something, there is a positive and a negative thing. It will never affect the people if the people, they don't want to be affected. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mariam. I thought you were going to be saying that you will, would not like the Zoom to be invented, something like that. So, but still, if it will be weird because you have to continue as the Master of Ceremonies. And thank you for participating, ladies and gentlemen. I hand control back to our Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Mariam.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rashid, for your wonderful roles of your today. You take a lot of roles, but you take it in very proper, you handle it. And now, before we move for the third part, can we take a group photo? Because I see Toastmaster Tosin is mentioned about the group photo with Dr. Isha. Can we have a photo, please?
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
No, we don't do it like that. We don't do it like that. We don't do it like that.
I did a screenshot.
Okay, we do it like, look to your right, look to your left, and look to me and smile. Wonderful. Okay, we got ours. Wonderful.
Nice one.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rashid, for taking the photo. And now we move for our third paragraph for today is the general evaluator. Please welcome our Toastmaster, the general evaluator, Toastmaster Deepa.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. And yes, it's been a privilege attending your meeting today. And before going in, I think I would like to ask for the poll for the table topics so that by the time that's getting done, we can just go ahead. So who's the moderator exactly? I mean, everyone's been wearing multiple hats today. Okay. Yes. Well, to start with, I'd like to really commend the Sergeant at Arms for starting the meeting bang on time. So Toastmaster Tosin, yes, a big round of applause because everyone is talking, trying to settle in. And she's like, what time you're supposed to start? And she started right on time, a perfect start to the meeting today. And After that, what can I say about our president? A lovely welcome. Nicely ask the guests to introduce themselves, and that is something which kind of relaxes everyone. Now you're starting a formal meeting, everyone is a little on edge, and by the time you ask everyone to introduce and try to make them comfortable, then slowly everyone sets in, you're comfortable speaking, and he said the atmosphere so beautifully to make it so casual and nice. So really appreciable. A very friendly atmosphere overall in the Voice of Innovators Toastmasters. I like being here today. And before we go ahead, can I have the timer report? I think all multiple hats today. So can I have the timer report on our speeches? I think, do we have a timer for the speaker, main speaker today? And of course, the table topics. So can I just have the timings, please?
Yes. So the keynote speakers only took, I think, 14 minutes, 20 seconds. The rest of the, I think in total it was 34 minutes, 32 seconds. So the 10 minutes, 32 seconds was dedicated to the question and answer session. So we were bang on time on that. And table topics, we have Toastmaster Rinosh, who took 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Toastmaster Tosin, 2 minutes, 8 seconds. Toastmaster Jafar, 1 minute 12 seconds, and Toastmaster Mariam Noemi, 1 minute 37 seconds. Back to you, madam.
So all within their limits, right? That's awesome. So we have everyone maintaining the timing. Okay, and the grammarian report for use of the word today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa, General Evaluator. Of course, today, grammarian, everybody thinking software and hardware, but everybody forget about people were. Because this much insightful of artificial intelligence today, they cover Dr. Keynote speaker, Dr. Isha. And thank you so much for that. And of course, today we have all our gems of Toastmasters. So there is no mistakes in English using the grammar. And of course, next I could like to say our counter reports as well. Of course, same today's of the everyone of senior Toastmasters and gems. So there is no much our counter mistakes. And then I could like to back to our G Toastmaster Deepa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raja, for a lovely report on the grammar as such. Yes, I agree. And I know everyone missed out because people were being, I mean, Dr. Isha got us so engrossed in the topic that I think we forgot people were for a while. That's kudos to her. Okay, and our counter too. Yes, thank you for the lovely report. And I just comment the fact that everyone's wearing multiple hats. I think maybe it was lack of people, but then that's really good. It shows really the interest and the passion of the Toastmasters in the club. And going ahead to our keynote speaker, what can I say? Dr. Isha, you literally ruled the virtual stage today. And it was a very insightful speech where all of us learned a lot, I'm sure. And it just goes towards showing your passion to the field of AI, your command on the subject. And more than anything, very crisp, a neat speech, lovely speech, everything clear-cut on the screen. And I love the fact that she gave more time for interaction between the audience and her. Because giving a speech, you can just keep talking for hours together. But the only way you get to know and you impart more knowledge to others is by interaction. And I just loved the fact that she gave more time for that. You know, gave people the choice to ask questions. And that is when the actual feedback is given. I mean, she answered everything so nicely and so insightfully that I'm sure all of us are better off today having attended her session. Thank you so much. It was really beautiful. So an awesome speech. And I hope we can have her again on in-depth topic on one of the AI related topics. Thank you. And going over after that, I think, has the poll been taken? I think, can I have the results? I think the president can give the results. So after that, I can just go ahead with the table topics. So can we have who the winner is for today?
I will announce the winner at the end of the
At the end, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So, and regarding the table topics, I would like to appreciate our President, Toastmaster Rashid, for stepping in so comfortably, seamlessly into DT Mona's position. The fact that she wasn't available, he instantly took over and went in, and the topics were so relevant with the theme today. The questions were really nice, answered so nicely by everybody. It covered the topic literally. And one more point I would like to say for our Master of Ceremonies before I go ahead, that when the new or the induction wasn't possible, so they immediately went on to the next one because yes, issues, yes, one small suggestion that maybe it could have been taken care of earlier, getting the new member updated as to the procedure and the things, one small thing. But apart from that, the way initially it was delayed, the new member wasn't available, we went ahead with the keynote speaker. Commendable. Change of plans, it isn't easy. Just taking over and going ahead with what was available, that way it went seamlessly. A Master of Ceremonies weaved everything nicely, took all of us ahead beautifully. So I think, including the table topics, a very vibrant, lovely session. So it's been my pleasure. And I don't think I would like to fault anything apart from the fact that people could have kept their videos on, because I always feel when someone is speaking, when we keep the video on, it just shows respect and that the fact that we are listening to them. So already we are few, so it's nice to see lovely smiling faces. And when you're speaking, the feedback you get from the expressions and the people looking at you definitely motivates you to speak a lot better. So that's the only small thing I would like to mention. Otherwise, a very beautifully conducted meeting. Kudos to everyone for wearing multiple hats and doing the job perfectly. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you so much for your wonderful feedback, and we will consider your positive and what we need to improve in our next meeting. And now, last topic for today. There is a quote that I read it today: artificial intelligence is a tool, not a threat. And that we have complete our meeting for today. And I'm giving the stage to our president to give us the winner.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mariam, for being the Master of Ceremonies. And thank you everyone for attending this meeting. I'd like to thank you all for wonderful meeting. I know the more the merrier, but I think the people we have of value. So thank you for joining us. So our best table topics winner is none other than Toastmaster Rinosh Thomas. Please give him a round of applause. And we would like to thanks and especially our wonderful keynote speaker, Toastmaster Isha, Sheikh Aisha bin Muhammad Al Khalifa. Thank you so much for enlightening us. And I think this is the first technological talk I can say that I was hearing with interest. So it was really insightful and it was really interesting. So, and really eye-opening sessions. Thank you so much, Toastmaster, or sorry, Dr. Isha. Habit of saying Toastmaster, Dr. Isha. Please give her a round of applause. We would also like to thank and appreciate somebody who took up the role of the general evaluator for the in the last minute from Toastmaster Farida, and she did a wonderful job with her wonderful smile, enlightening our meeting and participating actively. Toastmaster Deepa, appreciate you, and we welcome you at the Voice of Innovators anytime. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining in our wonderful meeting. And I wish you, everyone, a wonderful good night. And when you sleep, beware of the robots. No, I'm just joking. Have a wonderful meeting. Meeting number 213 is adjourned.
Right on the dot.
Thank you.
Mr. President. Thank you again, Dr. Isha, on a very short notice, and you delivered so much value. We really are grateful. We really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for gracing us with your presence today and with your knowledge and expertise. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zishan. Thank you for joining us. Well, finally, we saw you.
I'm Zishan's daughter, Fahima.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Okay.
The future.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Isha, a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure.
Stop.
Thank you so much.
Good night.